Welcome to the Classical Gabfest, a weekly discussion about the ever-changing world of classical music. I'm your host for this week, Tiffany Liu, and with me as always are Kensho Watanabe and William White. This week we've got another of our summer mini-sodes, wherein we take a closer look at one broad topic in the world of classical music. Our focus today will be on clothes. But first we like to start with our prelude segment, so Kensho, what do we have today?
This week we're playing a round of everyone's favorite game, Listening Limbo. In this game, I will name a category of works, say for example, Beethoven symphonies, and our contestants will wager the amount of listening time they think it would take them to identify a piece in that category. After the wagers are in, they'll each hear the clip for the amount of time they've specified, and the contestant with the correct answer in the shorter amount of time wins the round. All right, our first category is Mahler song cycles. Discuss.
All right, Mahler song cycles. I think that there are 3 main ones. Is that right,
I'm going to
Tiffany?
be garbage at this. He reuses his own tunes so much, but I have absolutely no discernment between which ones belong to which cycles. Like there's Das Lied von der Erde, there's Kindertoten, and then which one am I missing?
Well, there's Songs of a Wayfarer, but I think you're missing another one. Right. I didn't even necessarily include Das Lied von der Erde in a song cycle, but who knows what Kensho's done here.
I mean,
that could be one.
Broadly part of a category called orchestral lead, which is like, how are you going to draw the distinction, really?
Well, Kensho didn't say orchestral.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is the Songs of a Wayfarer, there's the Kindertotenlieder, and I feel that there is one other one that we're not thinking of. Kensho, there's another one that we're not thinking of, right?
Yes, there's another one. There's one that was composed with text from a certain poet, and it is named after...
Rückert-Lieder.
Oh, the Rückert-Lieder. Okay. So there we go. So maybe there's 4, we would say.
I've got nothing. I don't think I could name a single one of these songs, like, from the actual collection.
Okay, well, let's see what happens.
Can't wait to hear these wagers.
Yeah. Kensho tells us who goes first.
I flipped the coin, and Tiffany gets the bid first.
No, okay, let's do something healthy, like 15 seconds.
No, 10 is the max.
Oh, is it? I thought 30 was the max. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I feel like the rules change on this like every week. But okay.
Kensho, you just forgot them all.
I mean, I want to be able to hear a phrase or at least a good chunk of one. So let's say 7 seconds.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Interesting. I'll go ahead and bid 6. I'll underbid Tiffany just because I do know some of these songs, and I might as well.
All right. So Will goes away, and Tiffany gets her 7 seconds first.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Tiff, here we go. Here's 7 seconds of a Mahler song cycle.
Okay, I mean, here's the problem. Like, you chose the one song that I actually do know. I've produced a recording of this, but I can't remember which song cycle it's from. It's Ich bin der Welt. I can tell you the text of the thing. Okay,
well,
let's think logically here.
Yes, exactly.
You just told us that the Rückert-Lieder are based off of a text by somebody else. Songs of a Wayfarer, I Am Lost in the World. No, I don't. That doesn't feel right to me. It does not seem, I mean, it makes no sense as Kindertotenlieder, so I'm gonna X that off the list. Das Lied von der Erde. I don't know. I just don't know these cycles at all. I don't think I've ever even like looked at a listing of the songs in them. Let's go with Rückert-Lieder.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, shit.
Well done.
I mean, that was the only song I would have recognized right from the get-go, so I should have bet something lower, but it wouldn't have... Anyway, whatever.
We'll see if Will can pick this up.
There's no way he's not going to pick it up. This is like the most famous one.
All right, well, despite Tiffany's lack of confidence, she nailed this one, so we'll hear your 6 seconds.
Problematic.
Mahler song cycle. Good luck.
This is Ich bin dem Welt abgesomething. And what is that from? I think that's from the Songs of a Wayfarer. And I just don't want to talk about it. So that's my final guess.
Oh,
I feel like this so often on this. You want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Will's always a little bit too quick to the trigger on these things.
What is it?
It is Ich bin der Welt abhanden gekommen, but
What's that from?
Rückertlieder.
Oh, it's from the Rückertlieder. Okay, yeah.
This is why I was so evasive about telling you which other.
I know. I
sunset
should have read into that much more. Yeah. Too bad.
All right, so Tiffany gets a point with her correct
It
answer.
did not
with
feel
7
like a
seconds.
win, I'll just say.
All right, the next category is still going vocal department here. Late Mozart operas.
Well, that's very interesting. Late Mozart operas. So this is Kensho is being very cagey here because the obvious thing would be to say the Da Ponte Mozart arias. So these are the 3 operas that have libretti by the Italian writer Lorenzo da Ponte.
Which I'm still waiting for a biopic about.
Yeah, we would love the Da Ponte biopic. Yeah, we're all fans of that idea in the Classical Gabfest. So those operas are The Marriage of Figaro, Così fan tutte, and Don Giovanni. But then we can add to that, in terms of his late operas, The Magic Flute and La Clemenza di Tito, which I think is a libretto by Metastasio, and Magic Flute is by Scicaneta. Now, those are clearly 5 late operas. How much earlier, if we go any earlier...
I don't think you need to parse this any more than you already have.
Okay, so those are the 5 late operas. All right, so fine.
You see right through me today. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So, Will's turn to bid this time.
I get to go first. I know that Tiffany is not really an opera person necessarily, but, she knows a lot. you never want to underestimate Tiffany.
The problem with Mozart, I mean, there's going to be a lot of it that sounds like, I'm not sure that I could pick out one recit from Così from... You know what I mean?
Oh, if Kensho were to do a recit, then that would just be like the height of evil. Yeah, I mean, well, I know those 3 Da Pontes pretty well. I know Magic Flute quite well. But, there are arias in Così that I don't, be hard for me to identify. And if it's something from La Clemenza di Tito, then I'm out of luck. But I think I'm gonna put the heat on Tiffany here and do 4 seconds.
Ooh.
I don't think I can go with 3. I just think that would be too... Because it's not like I don't have a 0% chance of guessing this one correctly, but I need enough time. But what are the chances that I get this and Will doesn't, even if I overbid him? So I should underbid him, regardless of whether I'm going to get it right or not. That's the gameplay, right?
I can't help you game theory here, Tiff.
I guess I have to go
gotta be
3.
neutral.
I know.
Wow.
I mean, I just, if I overbid, then the chances that Will doesn't get it I don't think are very, very good at all. So I have to underbid whether I get it right or wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the move here. So, okay, bye.
And there goes Tiff. And Will gets 4 seconds
Yeah, 4.
of a late Mozart opera.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Okay, this is one of the Da Pontes. This is either Figaro or Don Giovanni. This is Figaro. This is Figaro. I'm quite sure of it.
Final answer?
Yeah. No, it's Don
Hard to
Giovanni.
say, well, you're always just take a little bit more time to think about it.
It's Don Giovanni,
It's
isn't
Don
it?
Giovanni.
Oh, damn
It
it.
is.
I should have known. I just saw Figaro. I literally went to see Figaro like 2 weeks ago. Oh, what a total embarrassment and disappointment. All right, well, I think Tiff has a good shot at this, though.
I think she could do it in 3 seconds, I think. All right, Tiffany. Will was close, but did not get it right.
Damn it.
So
That's
3
upsetting,
seconds.
actually.
You've
3
got a good shot
seconds
at this.
of a late Mozart opera. Here we go.
Okay, I don't recognize it, which means I can't eliminate some things, actually. I don't think... I just want to say, if I get this wrong, which I probably will, I actually want to listen to the whole 10-second excerpt before you tell us what it is. Before you tell me what it is. But okay, so I think I have to just go with my gut here because I can't really like logic my way into this one. I don't think that it is... I don't think it's Così. I don't think that it's Don Giovanni. And I don't think that it's Clemenza. So that leaves me with Magic Flute. And what was the other one that you said? Shit.
It's like the most famous one.
The last one.
It's about people getting married.
Yeah, they all are.
No, but like the one that people, whatever, it's fine. So what is your guess here, Tiffany?
Let's go with Magic Flute.
Okay. Unfortunately, you are incorrect, but I'm going to give you the 10 seconds you requested. Here we go.
Madamina, il catalogo è questo, delle belle che amo le padron mio, un catalogo.
Don Giovanni.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Will thought it was Nozze, so you're both wrong, unfortunately. So no points awarded in this round. Well, with the final round, I think you'll be glad to hear that the category is Tchaikovsky symphonies.
Okay, I think we've done this one before. There are 7 Tchaikovsky symphonies if we include the Secret Manfred Symphony, which is written between numbers 4 and 5. The two of us probably know the 4th, 5th, and 6th the best. I also know the 2nd pretty well. I think Tiffany knows the 1st pretty well, which is called Winter Daydreams. Oh, she's shaking her head.
I'm the one that knows it.
The 2nd one is called the Ukrainian. The 3rd is the Polish. That's the one that's like a total mystery, at least to me. The 4th, 5th, and 6th are like total bread and butter repertoire. And the Manfred, I do know the Manfred pretty well, but, it's a long piece. That's the longest of them. So there's a lot of things in there that you could fool me with.
I'll do 4 seconds.
Okay, and I'll do 3 seconds.
All right. Bye, Will.
All right. Bye.
All right, Tiff. Here we go. 4 seconds, Tchaikovsky Symphony.
Okay, so this is from one of the ones that I know. So we'll eliminate 1 and 3. But I sometimes have trouble remembering which things go in like which one of the later symphonies because they all, I'm not saying they sound the same. They all sound like Tchaikovsky. Okay, so I just have to sing my way through this one like I usually do.
Yeah, I love it when you do this. This is great.
Oh, God, it's okay. It's the middle section of a middle movement of one of those later symphonies.
You knew I couldn't give you like a beginning of a movement here. That would have been too obvious.
Yeah. No. I mean, I guess it's just annoying me that I can't remember which one of this ones this is. It's been a while since Okay, long, slow, chromatic descent, and then what? This normally works for me. It's not working today. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with 4. I think this is the movement. Oh no, I'm about to embarrass myself. This is da dee da 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 dee da 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 da. Now I just don't remember. Well, that takes out 6 for sure. So 5 and 4. Let's go with 4.
4 is correct, but you just sang the second movement of 5.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going on there, but you were able to get it right. Well done.
What just happened?
So Tiffany sang her way into a completely different symphony, but managed to get the right answer. So
Wow.
That was a very interesting process to watch and observe. Well, you do have to get this right in 3 seconds.
Okay.
Good luck. Here we go.
Fourth Symphony.
That is correct. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. So
Tiffany,
points to Will.
what symphony did you sing your way into?
I did the same thing as you
She
did.
just sang so far that
from...
she went from the 4th to the 5th symphony and found herself in the second movement of the 5th symphony. Like she
Wow.
sang that far. Like
Went on to the
extrapolated
next
data.
CD. Interesting. Huh.
It's
That's
all a
pretty
big mess
far.
of wires up here.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. I mean, obviously, I couldn't play the beginning of a movement, but here, those same notes in the horn as the theme is the opening of the last movement of 4. Dim, pam, pam, pa-da-da-da-da. So you should just be able to figure out, like, oh, it's something more recognizable than just a random moment in the symphony.
I liked that as an excerpt because you could just follow it to its logical conclusion.
Yeah, it's very entertaining to watch you both like sing it all through.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Figure
It's
out
not.
what it
But
is.
it's not like the most obvious thing in the world.
No.
You know, you really
No.
have to do extrapolate it out. And for once, I took your guys' advice to actually like think
Take
about
your
it.
time and think
Yeah.
about it. Well, I think this game ends in a draw, I think,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah, it's a tie.
1 point to Will, 1 point for Tiffany. So there we go. Well played. That just about does it for this week's Prelude segment. But before we wrap up, we'd like to remind our listeners that we do periodic listener-generated named at tune rounds. So we invite you to try and stump us. Check our show notes where you'll find a link to the forum where you can upload a 30-second clip of an unidentified piece of classical music for us to try to identify. And with that, we move on to our discussion topic for the day. So, Will, what are we talking about?
Today's Minisode discussion topic is clothes. I love clothes, and as far as I'm concerned, the fancier the better. As a young man, I was never consciously aware of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of the things that I found so appealing about the world of classical music was the fact that it was performed by sequin-gowned ladies and tuxedoed gentlemen. But as a member of the fancy community, I find myself increasingly at odds with the broader culture, and now even with the classical music community, which seems, finally, sadly, to be catching up with the world around it. I view our onstage attire as a fun bit of costuming, a sort of 19th century cosplay, in the same vein that a glam rock band would adorn themselves in wild face makeup and studded leather vests. But not everyone sees it this way, and performance attire has become something of a fraught issue in recent years for a number of reasons, many of them surrounding gender norms. If we are seeking gender parity among men and women, and more pointedly, a more expansive view of the gender spectrum in toto, then why would we want to maintain dress codes that seem to uphold these dated binary gender expressions? And then, of course, there's the unavoidable fact that the traditional classical music attire brings with it a plethora of class associations, potentially another barrier to people feeling welcome in the concert hall, although I have a bit of a contrarian view on that point, which maybe we'll get to. So to start off with, do you guys like clothes, or do you just see them as a functional way to protect your bodies from the elements?
I think I've actually turned a corner with regards to this in the last, we'll say, 5 years or so. I mean, I think when I was growing up, partly because I was a bit of a contrarian myself and I was a girl, I had this attitude of, well, I'm not going to care what I look like. I will wear the baggiest shirts possible. I will wear the biggest pants. I mean, you should have seen me dress when I was a kid. And it was a statement for me. It was definitely like I don't care, because I'm smart. You know, I played into all the dumb stereotypes that you get when you grow up as an Asian female in Florida. And that was a point of view for me, and one that I was buying into what people would tell you when you were little, was like, it's not on the outside what counts, it's on the inside, and all that stuff, right? And so that was important to me, actually, to not care. Now I find that it's fun. I enjoy the process of finding things that look good, at looking at things that look good, at feeling like I look good when I go out, and so on. I do find that is something, and healthily so anyway as well, of a pleasure for me. And despite that, the thing that I find I cannot care that much about is looking at what other people are wearing on a concert. Like, I just don't notice. I can tell you any number of interactions that I've had in my orchestras where people will ask me, the orchestras that are, you know, people in my orchestras, where people will get very like annoying, like perturbed even by my lack of specificity when it comes to what I want them to wear. And, you know, when I say things like, well, you know, it's fine if it has a little bit of color, but do you want color? Do you want ties? Do you want cummerbunds? Do you want, you know, and it's just like, I don't care. I can say something, but I prefer not to say anything that doesn't have teeth. And when push comes to shove, on the concert day, if somebody comes up to me, unless they are wearing like gray pants and sneakers, the chances I will actually notice that they are wearing a tuxedo versus a suit are zero. Not even one. Zero.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, there's so many things I want to follow up on in there.
Oh my God, here we go, Will.
Well, for one thing, I'll just say that, like, you talk about, like, your childhood in Florida and not caring, but clearly you did care. Like, you were making a very conscious effort to show that you cared, but it was just, like, in the reverse. Like, you didn't want to do, like, the Barbie doll thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Second thing I was interested to know is, okay, so you now like to, have clothing as an element of your personal style.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're able to reflect that in what you wear to performances? And do you think about what you wear on stage differently as a performing member of an ensemble versus playing like a chamber thing versus especially conducting? Because I know that this is like something of a fraught question, especially for women, because there are not just women have had to invent what is their concert attire as conductors in the last like 50 to 100 years.
So the answer to all that broadly is yes. I do feel differently as a member of a chamber versus orchestra versus conductor. So as a female in an orchestra, you're just told to wear all black. As long as it covers up the bright areas, it's just black. And that is actually something that I've always loved. I like my black clothes. I like acquiring nice black clothes. And I like that if I wear like an oversized, well, not quite in a sweatshirt, but like I have any number of kind of not things that I wouldn't wear to do anything other than play in an orchestra. And not because they're too fancy. It's because they're just big black bags essentially. And I like that flexibility. I know that that flexibility is something that females actually enjoy on the orchestral level that men don't, which I'm all for expanding that in both directions. Like if females want to wear suits or whatever, like I say that sounds great, and if men want to just go with all black and wear that, I think that should also be cool. As a conductor, I don't know. I still think that's a rather enjoyable process. I have to say, I hate wearing suit jackets to conduct. I think they suck for conducting, and I'm sure Kensho will have some things to say about this as well, since you're doing the most kind of conducting like of all of us in terms of just like frequency of appearance. But I hate wearing the thing. I put it on 4 times a year so that I can conduct my school orchestra, and great. But man, if I had to do it every weekend, I'd find a different solution for sure.
So yeah, let's get into you, Kensho, because I know that you have very different feelings than I have about this whole thing. So lay it on
Well,
us.
first of all, I love clothes. I think I put not like a lot of thought, but I do like think out what I wear on a daily basis, not just for concerts, but also like for rehearsals and things. I think one of my first like memories of even kind of consciously making a choice about clothes in this way was particularly in like what I wear to rehearsals. I was definitely that kid that like had the button-down shirt and like the tucked-in button-down shirt with like a
to
belt
play
and
in an
khakis.
orchestra, like when you were
no,
a kid.
no. Oh yeah, that too. But then like also conducting rehearsals and stuff like that, like where like you don't come in a tux for your rehearsal. But I was like, oh, how do I look professional? And I think it was like a few years ago where I made a decision to actually just go away from that completely and just dress like I would normally do on a daily basis, because when you come to rehearsal for orchestras, no one dresses well for a rehearsal. Like they just come in whatever they're gonna go to the grocery store with later on. Street clothes.
But there are certain considerations.
Sure, yeah. It has to kind of fall in within the dress code of.
Would you wear jeans to conduct a rehearsal?
I have.
Oh my God.
Will is scandalized.
I am scandalized.
Maybe this is actually one of those places where
I've worn shorts. Like I'm wearing shorts all the time.
Kensho Watanabe, you have not worn shorts to conduct a rehearsal with a professional orchestra?
I have.
Wow. I wouldn't even wear shorts to conduct a rehearsal at the Monteau School.
What?
I've definitely done that. I
don't think that's true.
Oh, it definitely is.
No,
Will White
I've seen you in shorts on that
would
podium before.
Maybe to make announcements, not to conduct a rehearsal. No, I don't think so.
Okay, fair.
I just did the first dress rehearsal of Bohème here yesterday, and it was the first time I wore like pants because I knew I had to get up on stage for the bows.
Oh, well, opera is different. A staging rehearsal for an opera, I can see maybe. I personally wouldn't do it, but like, I could see you doing it. But like with an orchestra that you didn't know, would you go up there in shorts? Like if it was your first time guest conducting an orchestra?
Yeah, where was it that I did this recently? And I got a comment like...
like put on some clothes?
No, it was the opposite. It was like, Oh my gosh, like you actually are dressed for the weather. Oh, it was in Charlotte. It was very warm. And I was walking to the hall, and I think it was a musician or somebody backstage or something like this was like, you're like the first conductor that has worn shorts to a rehearsal where it's actually hot. And I've always wondered what the hell is wrong with these conductors that like are like purposely wearing like warm, like really like obviously clothes are not appropriate for the weather to the rehearsal.
I mean, that just goes to show that people will like find any damn thing to talk about. Like it's like, and here's what the thing is,
Is
right?
that what it
like,
is? Am I already that delusional conductor? I'm just like, oh, it's like,
Yes.
This is one of the things that I actually do feel like I'm impacted by my gender in, because I have gotten comments on patterned shirts, on loose sleeves, on, you know,
That's insane.
like, and like, that's just normal. It just is, to the point where I do have separate sections of my, you know, closet where I'm like, these are the things that I can wear to conduct, and these are things that I cannot. I cannot wear stripes. I cannot wear anything remotely reflective. I mean, not that. I mean, and I'm not talking foil reflective. I'm talking like slightly reactive to the light reflective. I always wear, I guess, sleeves is the women's version of like, you know, wearing shorts or not shorts. I like wearing sleeveless stuff. I never conduct sleeveless ever.
I also never conduct sleeveless.
Well, yeah, exactly. Will, wait.
Well, that's partially just because my forearms are so skinny that I don't want people to see like my skeleton up there and be like grossed out.
See here, I have to say, and let me appreciate like one moment of physical vanity on the show. I have great shoulders, okay? Like people would not look at my shoulders and be like, ew, put those away. I have great shoulders and I love wearing sleeveless stuff. I will never, ever, unless it's like, you know, my like hot 80 degree like student orchestra, you know, fourth hour of rehearsal, and then it'll be like, okay guys, it's really hot in here. You know, I've done it with my community orchestras before, because after like 2 hours of rehearsal and like the AC is not working, nobody cares.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, you know, it's funny. My college conductor, a woman named Barbara Schubert, she wore the same thing for rehearsals every week. She wore black slacks, like sort of flowing, you know, and a jewel-colored blouse. And she wore big shoulder pads. I mean, that was something we always commented on. And, you know, I mean, she told me when I was very young, she was like, do not wear a striped shirt. Do not wear a white shirt. Do not, you know, I mean, she gave me very...
and seeing the baton and...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I doubt that a male conductor would have given me such strict parameters about what to wear, because I'm sure that she had received so much commentary and feedback. You know, it's like the stuff that you're talking about, Tiffany. But I actually take it to heart. I mean, I do wear like plain colors. I wear very unadorned clothes for rehearsals, you know?
And I believe it. I believe in it. You know, like I'm not saying that those are invalid comments necessarily. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want to like try and discern somebody's baton against their floral patterned shirt. But at the same time, it's like when you're in a conducting masterclass situation and it's like all you're trying to do is like, you know, get a tempo, and people are like, well, but your shirt. And it's like, yeah. You know?
Right, it's true. You should try and minimize as many extraneous distractions. I agree. Kensho, have you ever worn white tie and tails?
Yeah, I think like maybe in college when I was conducting for fun, because I had to have, but never. I'm trying to think. Even when I started professionally, nope.
And you don't like it, right?
No, I just don't find that I look good in it, and I don't feel good in it. So my only thing is like, if it makes me feel good, if I feel like I look good in it, then I wear it. And tails are not that.
So what you've said, I mean, you wear this from what I've seen, because I've watched a lot of videos of you conducting. You know, I've like watched a lot of streams of your concerts and stuff, because I try to be very supportive. You seem to have settled on one conducting outfit.
I have two outfits. I have a tux and I have a suit. I think you've seen more of the tux because I wear those on the evening concerts and then in the afternoons.
Is it exactly a tuxedo? Because I mean, your jacket doesn't have a lapel.
It's a dinner jacket.
It is a dinner jacket. Oh, yeah. but it's like a shawl lapel. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you have a shirt that it just has like a button in place of a tie. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm wearing
or like a stud.
Future sponsor of the show, probably Korigami.
Uh-huh. Oh, you wear Korigami. That's interesting. Yeah. Of course you do. So. Yeah.
When are they going to release women's wear? I've looked on their site so many times, being like, I want that.
Anything else you guys want to comment on that we didn't get into?
Wait, we're not going to fight about tails or non-tails?
Well, I love tails. I love them because first of all, I think that they make every man look his best. And frankly, women. I mean,
I think you're delusional for
I
this.
think that there was. I know
have
you
you
do,
been
and you're
to an
wrong.
orchestra concert where they're wearing tails? These
Yeah,
these
obviously,
people that
that's
haven't
like the
gotten it
majority of
tailored.
orchestra concerts up until 4 or 5 years ago. Of course,
no
I've
one
been
looks
to.
good in those. They're never tailored right.
Well,
So they just hang off the body like it's.
You're absolutely right
terrible.
that people do not have their tails custom made, and that I don't understand that, because like if this is your profession and you're wearing the same outfit for like 30 years, get it done right. Go to a tailor, have it made.
And you know what I hate the most? You know what I hate the most is when the orchestra gets up for the conductor bow, right, at the beginning of the concert, and then all the people that are wearing tails have to do this like fart waft, as you know, to like flip up their little tails as they sit down in the seat. It's the most non-elegant thing ever. They all
that's
sit
interesting.
down
I think
and
it can
they
be
waft
done
their
elegantly.
fart.
I think it can be
looks like
done
they're
very
wafting their fart
elegantly.
up and then they just sit down. It's terrible. All of it is just terrible. No one should ever wear tails ever again.
Oh, I couldn't disagree more, Kensho. I think that, first of all, I think that the form of the tailcoat flatters any build, shall we say, because it makes the silhouette of the torso look elegant and tapered.
For the all of 30 seconds that someone sees someone's torso from the stage?
Well,
They're all sitting down.
You see, yeah, but that's all you see is their torso. So you see them quite.
You don't see anything. They're sitting down. They're playing their instruments. No,
No,
one's looking
but
at them.
but Kensho, where we do agree here is that men in general do not give enough attention to their appearance. And this is like orchestral musicians or any man. Like, I mean, look, you see people going out for a night on the town. You see women all dolled up, all looking fantastic, and then some like slovenly like wearing my woodshop jeans, is the dude, and like some t-shirt. It's such a double
But
standard.
doesn't that go back to what Tiffany was saying, that like men just never receive those kind of comments, like that, like you don't look good or like you don't look professional? Like,
I think it's deeply sexist as a societal thing that men feel that everywhere in the world that they go is their living room, and that they don't have any onus set upon them to look good for the rest of society. Because I mean, that's something true. Is like, I've read this take that the reason that Europeans have a better sense of style is because they spend more time walking down the street, and so they are like adorning themselves as like works of art for other people to enjoy, like the way that they look, more than Americans who are just sitting in their cars where you don't see each other. So I do think that like I wish that men in general would take more pride in their appearance, would take more care in what they look like. And, Tiffany said that she doesn't notice like if somebody's even wearing a suit versus a tuxedo. Whereas when I go on stage, I see everything. I'm like, oh my God, there's a stud that's missing, or like you didn't button your top button, and like, or like there's a slight misalignment of your bow tie. I mean, I noticed
now we know why Will tunes into my concerts, just like critiquing my appearance. What
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
wearing.
I love it. It's one of my favorite hobbies, that along with vacuuming. But anyway, this would be a great one to get listener feedback for. Let's just put it that way, because people have a lot of opinions about this, and it would be fun to hear what they are. But I think that that's a fine place to close our rip-roaring discussion about clothing. So let's go on to our classical mixtape. Kensho, what do you got for us?
In our classical mixtape, we each recommend some music that's caught our ear this week to share with our listeners. So, Will, what do you have this week?
All right. Well, I have chosen, in a very kind of trollish move here, a performance of a Strauss waltz. This is the Kaiser-Waltzer, the Emperor Waltz. And more to the point than the piece, which I love, I think is fantastic, is the performer, which is André Rieu, which is like the ne plus ultra of my sort of, penchant for historical dress and fanciness.
That explains everything. This is what you want everyone to be, is André
Let me say
Rieu.
this. André Rieu is even a little extra, even for me. So if people don't know, André Rieu like recreates this like 19th century ballroom dress of the Johann Strauss orchestra, like as they would have been. It's very, very frilly frocks and tailcoats and the whole thing. A little of it goes a long way, but listeners, I would say, give the video a watch if you're just would like to lose yourself in the world of Straussiana and the Viennese chintz that it evokes.
Gross. Tiffany, what do you have for us?
Well, I did think about doing something Strauss, like Fledermaus or something, but on the note of unusual things to wear on the stage, this is Morton Gould's 1994 tap dance concerto. It's a concerto for tap dancer and orchestra, wherein the tap dancer serves as like a percussion soloist, essentially. So it stands at the stands at the front of the stage on presumably some sort of special floor, and does rhythms that interact with the orchestra. It was kind of fun and creative. I've listened to it. I'm not sure that I like it well enough to want to like perform it on a piece, but as a novelty item, it's like certainly worth knowing about.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about shoes. That's going to have to be a whole different segment.
Well, as conductor of a student orchestra, let me just tell you, shoes are a battle that I've just had to give up on a number of occasions. Like like when somebody comes up on the day of the concert and they have black sneakers, maybe with like gray laces or like some laces that like some unidentifiable color because they've worn them for the last, but the sneakers themselves are black. You're just like, oh, okay.
All right. Well, thanks, Tiffany. I am ending this discussion about Tails or No Tails with Puccini's Colline aria from La Bohème, Vecchia Zimarra, where Colline says goodbye to his old coat that, he's going to sell to try to save Mimi's life. But really just to say goodbye, addio to all of the old-looking tails that we are wearing on stage in orchestras.
Vecchia Zimarra, senti, io resto pronto a scendere sacro montordevi. Le mie grazie ricevi.
You'll find the links to all these and to our full classical mixtape playlist in the show notes.
And with that, it's time to wrap up this episode of the Classical Gabfest. I'm Tiffany Liu, and on behalf of Kensho Watanabe and William White, I'd like to thank you so much for listening and to encourage you to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app. We'd also love your help spreading the word about the show on social media, where you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can reach us at classicalgabfest@gmail.com, and we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, happy listening, and we'll be with you next week.
These are fun.